there's no bigger surprise, in our opinion, on the Minnesota Vikings offense into the 2021 season than the emergence of second-year wide receiver KJ Osborn.
Yeah, I think we found our third receiver finally.
I think we did. If you remember from last season, KJ came in as I believe a 5th-round pick, mainly as a kick returner / punt returner out of the University of Miami. Mm-hmm. And it was a failed experiment. He was benched multiple times. And coming into this season, he was kind of thought as an afterthought / cut candidate, especially with us bringing in Kenny Wangu.
And he didn't have a single reception last year either.
Yeah, he didn't. I don't think he had an offensive snap last year.
I don't think he did.
Team. So, I mean, obviously everybody was pleasantly surprised when in training camp started coming out that he'd really taken a step forward in his progression, as we saw through training camp. And then we got to the regular season and you saw his inclusion in the offense. He had a couple huge games. His biggest play was week 2. Well, not his biggest play, but yardage wise, his biggest play was week 2. Right off the bat against the Arizona Cardinals. He went off for that 75-yard touchdown catch. Obviously, Jamie was at the game in Carolina when he caught the game-winning touchdown. So overall, awesome. I think it was a successful season for KJ Osborn. And he, like you said, really cemented himself in that wide receiver 3 role.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I wasn't even thinking of him during the offseason as being that potential third guy. And then you started hearing it in training camp and then seeing a little bit in preseason. So, I mean, it was crazy for him to come in and be that reliable guy for us.
Especially with the signing of D.D. Westbrook, too. Everybody kind of thought Westbrook was going to be that number 3 guy. Everyone was really excited about him. No one even thought about KJ.
Yeah. KJ, he has it, man. And I think, it was only his second year. And the first year he had literally no snaps. So, I think it can only go up from here for him. And that's why, and I know in the Adam Thielen video, you mentioned people talking about the draft and us drafting a receiver. I'm not 100% sure we need to. I mean, I think you can never have enough receivers, one of those positions. But I mean, I think we did find our third receiver and it's really nice to have a guy come in and do it. And I felt pretty confident. He had a lot of really big plays. We had a lot of third down conversion catches, especially earlier on the year from Kirk. And it's just a whole different thing with him coming in and knowing that we have that talent from him. And then I'm not sure if we'll make a video of ISM, right?
Yep.
Of ISM or not, and then we even seen him turn it up at the end of the season a little bit. Yep. So now we kind of have a lot of good receivers and a lot of potential there. So that's why I think, our offensive philosophy might need to change more around that.
Yeah. Plus Irv coming back next year.
Irv coming back. Yeah.
Room as well,
and we'll probably talk about that a little bit more in the next video, which will be Tyler Conklin. But let's dive into these stats.
Before we jump into those stats, though, if you want to.
I always forget that part. Hey, thanks for watching the GC Sport podcast for the Minnesota Vikings. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell if you want to see more. Yeah.
All right.
Subscribe's over there, down there.
Love
right here. Click that. All right, let's jump in.
All right, let's toss those stats up there. So, KJ Osborn was a part of every game. 50 catches, 655 yards. Surprisingly, 7 TDs, and 64.8 PFF grade. So
that's pretty good.
That's impressive.
And we're talking about our third receiver. Yeah, from your third receiver. And he had a couple games where he was the second receiver with Adam Thielen down, but still, I mean, that's impressive coming from your third receiver, especially one that we were not expecting, and especially from a position that we were looking to fill for years now. So I don't know. That's pretty good. I'm excited.
Yeah, I was very, very impressed with KJ Osborn this year. Like the stats don't lie, man. NFL is a stats driven league, which is why everybody thinks Kirk Cousins is such a great quarterback. But I mean, for a third receiver, I like seeing this out of KJ. I like seeing the emergence, and I think he's only going to continue to get better. He's only going into his third season.
Right. I know. I think people do not realize that does not have a lot of playing time and a lot of time with the offense and stuff like that other than this 1 year. So I think people just kind of don't talk about him really a lot, but I think he could grow into like a really, really good receiver. And he's going to be slept on for sure. But I think next year we'll find out that
if he sticks around, once Thielen goes, we'll have the JJ and KJ show. So
I think it's a real possibility. Yeah. But
I don't really think we have much more to really say about him other than let's get into some of the grades here. I think you got to look kind of like we did with Thielen. You got to take certain things into account. I think you got to take into account the expectation and the player. I think this season was an A. I think the season, I honestly think an A+ success
A+.
season for KJ Osborn. He came in as an afterthought, a potential cut candidate, and he ended up being the number 3 receiver, number 2 receiver at times. The 7 touchdowns, over 500 yards. I think just with expectations in mind, you got to go A+ with the guy. I think you really do.
I really like that you're going with A+ with the expectation things. I'm going to come down a little bit, and I'm going to kind of even it out without the expectation thing as high, and I'll give him a B+. And that's just because I think he has a lot of room to grow still, and I think he is really good. And for his expectations, he exceeded it like immensely. But for just an overall grade, for just being a 3rd receiver, I'll give him a B+.
Okay, that's definitely fair. With that being said, that's all we got today for this episode of the GG Sports Podcast reviewing the season for KJ Osborn. Please remember to like the video and let us know your thoughts on KJ Osborn's season down in the comment section down below. Also, check out some other videos we have right up here linked for you. Help us out a lot. And also, don't forget to hit the button over here to subscribe to GG Sports Podcast. Check out our videos down the road. We will see you guys next time.
SKOL Vikes.